Ever since I was a boy, I wanted to play a shooting game really, really badly. And with the help of chat's stupid builds, come on. Oh my, please, really? Okay, now I can. I asked my livestream chat to suggest some builds they found particularly interesting or funny. Unfortunately, I didn't ask that the builds be good. So today, here are 5 builds that you should only run if you hate yourself, or if you're bored. Let's start off small and ease you into the masochistic, self-deprecating hell I found myself in. Graviton Lance is not a good exotic. It's interesting, it's definitely unique, but when you have almost every other weapon type in the entire game that doesn't take up the exotic slot, that does its job but just better, yeah, there's a reason people don't run this thing. Every other scout rifle will beat this TTK. The TTK of the Grav Lance, by the way, is a solid 1 second, and other pulse rifles in the game will beat it almost default as well, with slightly less range. The Grav Lance is trying to do too much and just not doing anything even remotely well. Bungie has confirmed that they are removing flawless execution, which is what this perk tree is for middle tree Night Stalker, and frankly, that's a big bummer. That's like a restaurant telling you that they're removing guacamole off their menu, but instead, you're gonna get extra sour cream. Maybe I prefer guacamole. You never know. Let's just hope that it ends up being at least somewhat close to the power fantasy that we used to have. I definitely know some players are going to be a little upset with the removal of flawless execution in lieu of stylish execution, but I want to at least give them a chance. Comboing the Grav Lance with a good SMG like this multi-mock here is just a beautiful combo, like guacamole and sour cream. I can feel a growing hatred for invisibility, with the presumed new meta making it worse. But if you squint really hard, you can see the amount of shits I don't give because people are being forced to not crutch their radar and actually use their eyeballs. Grav Lance has some possible new synergies coming with it in the Void 3.0, explodifying everyone's insides to become their outsides with purple flavoring, with some nearly guaranteed synergies of making everything volatile, especially on Titan. There's a bunch of Iron Banner weapons going away. As of the day of this is going out, you can still go turn in your tokens if you haven't already. Keep an eye out for a multi-mock similar to this one. Really, you're looking for the Model 8 scope with kill clip and some decent-ish perk in that first column. Run to the salad man before Bungie takes it away. Wait, what the hell is this? Is this an actually well thought out build from a loving Patreon supporter with words explaining the ins and outs of the combat loop to best synergize a forgotten about exotic and subclass pairing like some kind of nerd? What the hell do you take me for? Some kind of Warlock? Wait, if your build is meant for Titans, then I need less thinking and more punching nerds. In case you weren't aware, Antaeus Wards are still incredibly strong. I don't know why people don't use them. They give you a buff to slide distance off the get-go, and if you get sprinting for a little bit, sliding on the ground will allow you to completely make yourself invincible. 100% invincibility. Yes, it's a small window, but that could theoretically make you survive literally anything. Maybe I should just count it as a blessing because that would sure get hell of annoying really freaking fast. Sliding is strong, albeit a bit easy to overcommit, especially with the increased slide distance of Cryoclasm, like hitting the snooze button on your alarm only to wake up 4 hours later wondering what year it is. Interestingly, despite you not taking actual damage in the Antaeus Wards barring some netcode cheese, you still receive flinch, so I recommend if you do decide to take this build in, that you run anti-flinching stuff so that you can still maximize your efficacy. If I was actually good at this game and wasn't playing like a wet fish having a stroke, I would have probably done really well with this. Freeze melee did get a bit of a change. It's kinda hard to hit people with it now, but you do get damage resistance once they're up, so it's a bit of a trade-off. If you want to give this build a try for yourself, all you're going to need is the Monte Carlo, preferably a slug shotgun, Cryoclasm, Howl the Storm, and at least Whisper of Hedrons and Whisper of Torment with the Glacier Grenade. And then just have fun dodging damage like a politician dodging a hot topic question about their policies. You know what's better than funny laser going burr? Funny laser going burr with twice the effective range. Or maybe subscribing to the channel, that would be a hoot, wouldn't it? Lunafaction boots are okay. They're hard to use. They're like trying to set up a game of table tennis in the middle of a highway. You're guaranteed to be spending half your time on a gurney because it's so hard to get it set up before you're actually able to do anything. Despite the lower usage rate, Devil's Ruin is absolutely amazing. It is the closest thing you're going to get to a primary weapon that is a special weapon. I've seen some people suggest that it needs a buff. I definitely do not think that it needs a buff, even though it'd probably get people to use them. Another Cryoesthesia moment? Nah, fuck it. What even is power creep anyway? Just give me a one-shot aimbot sniper with wall hacks, enhanced radar when held, and summons a black hole whenever it kills someone. Wait, this loadout would probably be a little bit easier to use on PC because it's kind of hard to maintain the recoil on console while still trying to hit targets from a further distance. Would probably prefer to run this on a different tree, like maybe Bottom Tree Stormcaller, for more frequent and more powerful riffs. But I ain't your parents, you can make your own damn decisions. But I do agree that the decision to run this Rapid Fire Pulse with this handy dandy little sidearm was a pretty good one. The Rapid Fire Pulse covers ranges that are medium to close-ish range with some bleed over into long range. Obviously running these with the Lunafaction boots allows this to punch out ranges that are, yeah, a little bit terrifying, and if you do get backed up by a shotgun rusher, quickly switch on over to your sidearm, hold the trigger down, pray that they aren't able to close that gap in a short enough period of time, and laser them down in the face. It'll allow you to pretty much shut down any hard rushers, assuming you have enough space. Do remember that the charge up for this is relatively long, and it's not instant like a fusion rifle, so you're gonna have to give yourself a little bit of space, but you can start to wind this thing up and start to shoot before you actually see the target, because it actually has a beam that will stay out for a little bit of time. All in all, a pretty solid build, incredibly strong sidearm that is just not getting used at all. Seriously, give the Devil's Ruin a chance. It is honestly terrifying with somebody who's good at it. Speaking of guns that wake me up in a cold sweat, Cryoesthesia is ridiculous now. It essentially has the ability to, once you get a kill, load up a shot that, if you're even halfway decent with it, allows you to guarantee the next kill. Bow combos are also still very strong. Slap a quick access sling mod on a bow and watch as you're able to swap between your two weapons incredibly easy, allowing you to get a bow shot off, swap over to the Cryoesthesia, finish the kill, and then get Cryoesthesia's perk going. Why people don't use combos like this more, I don't know. It's like a beefy bean burrito with guacamole and sour cream. Damn, I'm hungry. Not a lot of people use Winter's Guile, and here's why. It is difficult to use. If you are able to actually get a melee kill, following a melee kill up, you only get about 5 seconds to do so. You have to have a target that isn't able to shut you down as you're just beating your chest and aping straight towards them with your fists. And they have to be in a target-rich enough of an environment that you can actually get benefit of it. Winter's Guile, when it is procced, is really good. It bumps up your melee's damage 300%, and this works on literally all melees. So getting your freeze melee off and then punching somebody to kill them will allow you to get it going, or in this case, using Cryoesthesia to get that going. The super on this subclass is still amazing. I would argue this is still the top dog for all supers. This subclass as a whole is still really solid, and I'm surprised more people don't use it. It was at the end of the game that we finally got the triple damage melee to actually do something. But don't worry, this is the last time you'll be seeing of these gloves. This last one was not from a viewer or a live stream chat. This one was from a TDT member, Luxio, who saw it from a person on Twitter named Astral or Autumn. In theory, this build is quite powerful, just like the last one, but also in theory, a mouse's body can't reach terminal velocity. Are you gonna be the one to test that in action? Fuck no. But you gotta wonder, how is that fact even found out, right? Well, today I will play the role of a mouse, and the Crucible will play the role of the Empire State Building. Have I mentioned that there's a reason nobody uses Winter's Guile, despite it theoretically being pretty strong? It's difficult to set up, but I could just copy and paste what I said last time, but I'll spare you the trouble. This time around, we decided to try the Monte Carlo for more melees, but hindsight being 2020, probably would have been better if I ran this with a bow so I could do a bow into a melee combo. It didn't help that my chat thought it was hilarious during this build to rebind my melee button, so a full 3 seconds of thought had to be put into each uninvited enemy facial tenderizings. I could feel cobwebs and gears turn in my brain that haven't moved since I started playing D2 5 years ago. You don't understand how hard it is to play this game when muscle memory is removed. And you could just see these moments where I pause, where my brain is just cranking out, trying to figure out what the hell the button is supposed to be. And now my office also smells like bacon, so thanks for that. We went an entire game of agonizing humiliation and self-hatred trying to get this to finally happen, to only have it happen and have the stars align right when it didn't matter and the game was over. Finally, I get everything set up. I had the melee set up so that it was just the unbound melee on a button I literally never use, and then despite chat's restrictions, changed my melee button to top pad, which is normally my emote button, got the kills, and had an opportunity to shoot somebody with the fireball melee, which is the whole point of this damn build, is to get the melee damage of the fireball to be 300%. Finally to get it happen when it literally didn't matter. Join me next week where we find out if you can win a game of Crucible inside of a straitjacket.